Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? After the Game Jam madness, we're getting back into SurrealDB. We'll see how far we get today with permissions. Last stream I hoped that we're gonna get a little bit further, but we ended up having a really deep dive into how permissions work, where the limits are, and where they break and whatnot. We learned a lot, I believe. At least I did. So today we're gonna try to implement some of this stuff. I'll need to refresh myself right here on stream what exactly we need to do, because with the game jam going on, I didn't even have time to review the notes or anything. So we'll see how it goes. This will be a little bit shorter stream as I'm still tired after the jam. So let's dive straight into it. So, I remember that last stream we had issues with figuring out how do we get data from the post or modify that data. Things like, when somebody likes a post, a user likes a post, we need to keep track of how many people like the post just so that the user can get that information about a post. Okay? We need that information, therefore we need to make it available somewhere. And the thing is that user not having access to a post couldn't, in theory, update it, nor get information about, the data in the post without, accessing the post. So we learned that while the permissions, they apply to queries by the user, they don't apply to the events caused by doing something with those, events triggered by those modifications. So that means that even if user, updates something and doesn't have access to delete or whatever, we could set up a simple event that if user sets a value in the post to this and that, it will automatically delete the post. So that opens up a lot of doors. That means that we can still keep things safe, but we can do additional automatic things happen that are not restricted by all the, permissions madness. We can keep things relatively simple. So let's see what we did last stream, because I remember we copied all this stuff. I just clicked I just pushed all those changes because turns out they weren't really uploaded for some reason. So let's just take a peek of what we modified last stream. I need that refresher. And improved. Oh yeah, we went through everything and modified the remove field to the new overwrite approach. Okay. We fixed some stuff with the the approval process. Okay. We had some issues with that. It was fixed. So I remember that now. With authored, we didn't change anything. With the comment itself, we did a lot with the comment itself. First of all, we defined the permissions for a comment are where, let me make it a little bit larger. Maybe I can actually go to the comment here. Okay. So the comments itself, really, that's it? Why does it look different here than here? Stream 5 comment. I'm looking at stream 5. What the heck is going on? Oh, because I'm not scrolling. Okay, sorry about that. The stream might be rough today. Alright, so with the comment, we made it that users can only, the front-end users can only select those that were approved. So users can query comments that were approved, and create whatever comments they want. Okay? So that's that. And then we of course have few restrictions applied. Like the author can be set for create, where author is okay. So basically, when the user is creating a comment, they can only assign themselves as the author. So that's one thing. Override created at, that's automatic. This which post it aims at, what for which post this comment is for. This reply to is none. What? Oh. What the heck is going on here? Hello, Taras. How are you doing? It's nice for you to join in. How was the jam? Very, very, very exhausting at the end, but at the same time rewarding. I can say that, hey, I actually made a game in a few days. Not the greatest game, but also not the worst. It somewhat works, and I learned a lot. First of all, I learned that I don't like 3D in Godot. Yeah, so today's still recovering. It's gonna be a short stream, so because tired. Yeah. And how are you doing? I mean, 3D isn't that hard. I did a lot of 3D in Unity, and I did a lot of 3D in Unreal. Unreal was 10 times more pleasant to work with. But in Godot, it's kind of wonky. It needs a few years more of polish. Yep. That's the thing about the jam. You try to put in as much as you can. It's a sprint in gaming. While normal game you'll be making for 2, 3, 5 years. So what the heck is going on here? Let's make sure I'm sharing my screen. Yes, I am. What are good options for doing dynamic 3D manually, like 3D animation movies? What do you mean manually? You mean making animations? That's what you're asking? Or making animated movies? Just not sure what the manually word is supposed to mean. In the meantime, so we have the field post defined. It points to post, and we need to make sure that reply to is either non-existent, this one, is not set, or it points to the same thing. Okay, so this is basically a guard making sure that if reply to is already set, don't set it to something, doesn't allow setting post to point somewhere else. Okay. Animated movies, manually versus game, as in programmed with physics. Oh, wow, there are so many options to make animated, style movies, things of that sort. Depending on the level of involvement that you want to go with, you can start free with basically a lot of hello SRG. How are you doing? So for 3D animation, you just have so much software that specializes in various types of animation. You could go with, your generic 3D package like Blender, where you can do 3D models, make 3D models, 3D animations. There are little movies made in this, probably not little movies. You could go with, more of a big aimed at animators like Maya, for example, and rendered in some other kind of software. For movie like physics, for things like, destruction or maybe some simulations, you could look into Houdini. That's a very big and scary piece of software. Or if you just want to make an animated movie without having a supercomputer, you can use Unreal Engine. It has great community of filmmakers and has lots of features aimed specifically at that. Alrighty, so what else was going on in the schema? Reply to, we make sure that it points to something that exists and it points at a different record. Okay, this is very important here. When we're doing this is checking if the record exists. Basically, we're setting some kind of value, like reply to is the value which is basically the ID of the comment, okay? That this new comment is a reply to. So we either have it none, as in this is not a reply, or we make sure that we take that value and try to get its ID. This will basically reach out to the record, through that record, and try to pull its ID out of there. This basically says, this will basically return none if that record doesn't exist yet. So, and then we double negate it to basically make sure that it will return false if it doesn't exist, or true if it exists. So this is a little neat trick to make sure that what we're setting here is an actually existing comment. So we're not allowing for a comment to be a response to something that doesn't exist yet. But because this will be set when user sets it from the front end, we need to make sure that that the user actually has access to this thing. Because if the user didn't have access to read all the comments, it wouldn't be able to check if it exists because it doesn't have access. So that's a little trick, additional limitation that one needs to be aware of. And then this is the stuff that we're adding. Tara says, I got a crazy idea recently, making UI engine for SQLite. UI engine for it. UI engine? That's something I haven't heard of, an engine for UI. UI engine? What do you mean? You're just making a front end for some kind of management front end for SQLite or something crazier? I mean, it's crazy to start doing that, but at the same time, it's not that crazy uncommon. Okay, so here we define the override likes count on table comment. So this is the fun part. We have a comment that this is calculated automatically. We don't allow creating, updating, or deleting this value for any users. They just can't, but they can read it, okay? So this is the thing that will keep track of how many people liked this specific comment. And then we have the approved, which is basically that's interesting. Because we're not allowing reading the approved field at all. Okay, so you can't check if the comment was approved or not. But the whole table doesn't allow you to view unapproved comments. I mean, unapproved, comments. So what we're doing here is basically specifying that nobody can even query that value on its own. If you request it, it will just pretend that this value doesn't exist on any record. Okay, that's what it does. And then we have the event when the comment is created. What do we do here? When the new comment has been created, then Okay, this is the thing, the workaround that we found. That when an event happens after, some action was initiated by the user, initially we had the thing here with the, for example, post that this is a comment on. Initially, we had also assert that it was trying to check if the post actually exists. But we can't do that here because user is not supposed to have access to posts. We don't want users to query all the data about posts. So what we can do is that if all the data is defined correctly for the comment, as in it would normally get created, in the same transaction, we trigger an event when it's created. And then we can, whatever runs here, runs without permission checks. So A, it's faster because it doesn't do million permission checks. B, we can have access to the whole database. And so, because this acts like a system user. So basically what happens here now is that we can basically check if the post that we set, if the ID of it is none. Remember, this is supposed to be ID, but from the ID, you can get an object with a dot, and object always has an ID. So we basically try to request an ID from an ID. And if it's none, it means that, can comment on something that doesn't exist. And this is what will be returned to the user, okay? Because the query failed. And if it worked, if there were no problems, we also update the after ID set. So basically we want to update the record that we just created, okay? And we want to explicitly set that approved is false and likes count is 0. And the reason for doing this is because user doesn't have access to the approved field. So when they're setting things, even the default value won't be set. So therefore, it'll be blank, and we want a value there. The same thing as for likes count. The likes count cannot be explicitly set. Create doesn't have permission. User doesn't have create permissions. So again, we need to set it up manually. So this is something, and this is also a room where we could automatically set the approved to true if the author that creates the comment, writes the comment, is the actually author of the article itself, to give them extra permissions. But in this case, this is for the future. We don't need that. Okay, I'm starting to remember what on earth we were doing last time. And Tara says something like Flutter, but for SQLite. Wait. Something like Flutter, but SQLite. So you want to make a framework for writing software that visualizes SQLite data? That's what we're trying to say. Trying to think what's the use case here? You want to visualize it in 3D? Alrighty. So we figured out what's going on with the comment. Okay. Contains, nothing here. Is about, nothing here. Learned, nothing here. Liked. This is where we made some changes, okay? So let's just take a peek at liked, because I think this is where we're counting the likes and updating the values, okay? There we go, liked. So with likes, liked is a relation. If I'll go to the graph, we have likes. Let's rename it because really it's liked, okay? That's what really is in the database. So we have liked. Liked is basically a relation. The arrow that points from user to a post or a comment. That's the important thing. Or. Tara says, write apps in pure SQL. Oh, okay. Not pure, but altered. So you can write basically UI with SQL code. A lot of stuff already exists like that. Probably half the companies do something like that out there because, yep, many companies use their database as sorts of configuration, where configuration for various customers' systems is stored inside their database. Then you have often, kind of CMS or whatnot that can be controlled to great extent with SQLite. You can represent relations, whatever, and then their system just reads it and generates forms and probably websites and a lot more on the go. I don't know how flexible Flutter is, but if you would want, you could sure do that. That'll be fun. Yeah, you could do a lot of flexible stuff. It just would be real pain to work with because at the end you need to deal with SQL. So, yeah, I mean, it will be declarative, right? Just declarative UI. Yeah, you could do it in various ways. You can even spice it up and make it that code is written in SQL queries, right? You can make code written in SQL queries, as in each row in a table represents an operation, and then you have some kind of system that basically reads an operation. Oh, memory could be stored in SQL too. Oh, you can make a stack and make it really, really, really slow to execute in that way. Oh no, I'm having bad ideas, but sounds like fun actually. Yeah, go for it. If you have lots of spare time, I recommend it. Alrighty, what we're doing? Okay, so basically the liked is a relation that can be from either user to post or user to comment. So if we'll get back to code, we can see it's a relation. Permissions for basically select, create, and delete. Users can read, create, and delete likes, where they're their own likes. Okay, when the like is all from that user to something, it's their like. They can read them, create, and delete them. They cannot update them because when it's already out there, it's already out there. You either create a new like or not. There's no data to edit here. So what do we have here? So we have basically if it's liked, and that points to the user, and we have to make sure that the user exists. And also, the extra thing where user can create only their own stuff. It's kind of interesting because here we already say that we're checking that the user only does their own stuff. And here we have another check. And yet another check that the user actually exists. So we kind of have too many checks, but at one point in the future, we might just figure out which would be the best, most optimized way to do it. Or maybe as the documentation grows, we'll overall learn from the documentation. And what it points at, either the post or the comment. So we have the index, and we basically created two specific events for it. Event when we create the like, on create, update likes count. So basically on creation of a like, we want to update the likes count. Okay. So this happens only when we already created the like. So again, all this code executes without checking permissions because this is already event code, so it doesn't do those crazy checks. So this way we can basically do like, okay, so if if whatever we're pointing at, the post or the comment doesn't exist. So it will throw error and won't actually create the like. We'll say, wait, you can't like something that doesn't exist. Additionally, we're checking that the additionally, if what the like points at, basically what we liked, the table that it's stored in is a comment. So basically, if somebody liked a comment and it hasn't been approved, okay, this isn't true, so we can say it's false to make it a bit more readable. And the comment that we're trying to like hasn't been approved. There's some shenanigans going on because the user shouldn't be able to like a comment that hasn't been approved yet, therefore they haven't seen it. So just in case, let's have that check, throw an error to not put some, non-integral data in there. Then we have new count after. Okay, so here we calculate the new count. We take the existing likes count of whatever we pointed at, and we increase it by 1. And then we basically set it as the new value. That's it. So basically increment the new count. Well, when we delete a like, we just make sure that we decrease the like count. Here we're actually not checking anything extra. We don't need to check if the thing that we're decreasing exists or not, or what, because, if it got created, that means it already exists. And we'll have a myriad of other checks that if we delete a post or if we delete the comment, we'll be automatically removing all those likes ahead of time. So, that's that. We don't need to perform additional checks here. Okay, that looks great. What else do we have? What else do we change? In the post itself, we added the likes count and the comments count. So let's check out that post. On the post, we basically added new value. Likes count and comment count, we marked them both as calculated automatically. They have the default value of 0. Okay. And we just need to make sure that when we create those, they actually have values assigned. What else? Override on post date update. All that stuff is, exists the way it already was. So we basically have the room for the likes count and comment count. We have requires, no changes. We had some initial test data and topic and viewed. All that exists without anything crazy in there. Okay, that's great. So if we have counts for likes for both comments and posts, we should also take care of the comments count. So basically we would like to do, update this value whenever a new comment gets created. We want to increase it by 1, and when comment gets removed, we want to decrease it by 1. So let's do this first exercise. So we want the post, and we want the comment, and we want the liked. So what I'm gonna do is gonna put liked on a side because this can be a good reference. So in the comment, we probably already have an event. Okay, when comment is created, we already have an event. So here we could actually make it so that we say that something got a comment on, but there's a caveat here. We actually don't want to mark, if the comment hasn't been approved yet, nobody can see it. Therefore, we shouldn't be already, increasing the count. So we should wait with the count increase only when the thing is actually approved. Okay. So how on earth do we do that? Well, the thing is that at some point, when we go through the approval process, let's actually take a peek. Approved. Because we have that relation. We have that relation approved. When some kind of user, mostly it's supposed to be the author of the post, approves a comment. So if we look at this thing, we have events. If approval was created, we go to whatever we just approved and set the value, approved to true. When deletion happens, we set it to false, and on approval update, cannot update approval status. We have in, out, date, and a note. Okay, so I guess we, in theory, have a note. So we basically are trying to make it that no matter if you have any extra fields on it in the future or whatnot, don't allow updating, altering the state of the approval. So basically, whenever we try to update it, this will run and say, sorry, no luck today. Okay, so that sounds good. So that means we have to take care of the approval creation and deletion. So basically, if we have a situation that a comment was approved, we need to go to that comment. From the comment, we need to extract what post it points at, go to that post, and increase the count of comments. And do the reverse when we delete it. Shouldn't be too bad, right? So let's see how we can take that. I mean, it sounds difficult when you think about how you would do it in SQL, in my opinion, because I don't know where to even start with joins and crazy stuff. But here, all we do is we just update the approved field of the comment itself. So we don't even need to modify this whole thing. All we have to do is in the comment itself, detect that we just updated the field approved, because who knows, maybe some sneaky somebody approved it manually, setting it somewhere in the running the command manually. We want to still update the count. So what we can do is define event, and it will be basically on comment approval update. Okay. And this is basically only the event update when we update, and the before approved is different than after approved. So basically when the field approved changed. Then what we're gonna do? Well, if it's approved, we're gonna increase the count. If it's disapproved, we're gonna decrease that count. So let's see, if after approved is true, we're just gonna update the after the post. So we get to the post that was just approved, and we'll set the comments count to comments count plus 1. Can I do that? Or can I not? If I'm updating something, I don't think I have access to it yet. I am not sure. Let's try it. For Surrealist, we're gonna make a quick little test, because that's something I'm not sure right now. We're connected to our thingy here. We have problem 2, and all that stuff. So this was some kind of test that we were running, right? So let's remove that table. We don't need it anymore. problem. Let's remove table. And post test. That was yet another test. Okay. Cool. All that got cleaned up. Yeah, it doesn't look like we have anything else running. So let's try some kind of test. What we're gonna do is we're gonna create and let's call this table test table. So we're gonna create a new element there. Well, let's call it test1. Okay, and we're gonna set some kind of values, initial values. Let's say value A is true and value B is true. I mean, let's do false. Okay, we'll just set those two values. Run the query. What just happened here? What does it even refer to? It's just a random fallacy. What? What is this field? Explorer? Test table? That's not a string. Okay, I officially don't know what that means here. Huh? The database allowed it. Select everything from this thing. We're just gonna get some random name there, right? Yeah. Okay, I officially don't know what this data type is. I'll need to ask about that because I'm not sure. Oh, that's funny. So let's update it. Okay. Right now, this is a table that was just created. That means it's not schema full. It's schema less. That means all the fields, they can get whatever value goes. Okay. It does not matter. So that means that we can run something like this. Update. Okay. Test table test1. And we're gonna set the value B to be false. We should just set it, right? Bam. There we go. Here's our updated record. But what if I want to do something where value B is set to value A? Can I do this? Yeah. No, I cannot. It just types that in. So what? Can I do it? Oh, let's just switch to the Twitch. What are the best features of SurrealDB in your opinion? The best features? Wow, there are so many. I think the query language. I'm really enjoying the query language, the flexibility I'm getting. Therefore, it basically lends to maybe how well it integrates with its own features. Just the fact that I can avoid joins, you know? Because joins is the one thing that just feels like whenever you're writing a SQL query, you need to think a little bit and like, okay, how do I join this data so things don't fall apart? Here I just do dot, like as if I'm writing another program. And that's one of the most amazing features for me. The other one is that, I am able to start programming the database. Not only that the queries are this and that, but the fact that I have events and they happen a specific way, you can kind of have event-based systems inside your database that, right now the goal is to have it to have the database do this. When user comments on something, right? The comment gets created, but the approved is set to false. So we have another thing when the approved relation gets created, an event is triggered. that will automatically set that value on the comment to be true, that approved. And then, because we just updated that value, another event will notice like, oh wait, this just got approved. And therefore is gonna get to the post that this comment is related to and update the number of comments on it. And that, in fact, later will automatically cause the view posts on posts, like limited view of the data of posts, to automatically update its own table, because you can have a table that refreshes itself automatically with data that it pulls from somewhere. And all that happening basically in one transaction. If something fails along the way, it fails. You don't have ways to handle it yet, but soon enough, hopefully we're gonna get error handling. I already submitted a feature for that. And you basically can make this chain of data. So your query that you are sending, you don't have to have such a massive number of things to write, and things just happen one after another, so you can keep your code kind of small and hard to track. But yeah, just having that flexibility is awesome. You can have basically your custom smart database. Yeah. Right now I'm trying to figure out how to get this going, because if I would do input, I would use the parameter input here. The input has only value b, where the input for value b is this. So this kind of has infinite reference. This is gonna fail. Wait. It did not. Doesn't mean that input, if it doesn't have anything specified, it's gonna take it from existing. Ah. Look at that. Oh, wait. No, value b hasn't been set. What? Run section, which is updated with value b. Oh, I see. That's what happened. If you set a value of a field to none, it just stops existing. It's like not set. It's like undefined in JavaScript. So because input, whatever we sent to this during the update, whatever set was here, the value a wasn't set on it, therefore it returned none, and set the value b to none, therefore it removed the field. Ha! Okay, database makes jokes of me. That's what it feels like. Let's try this, because this should refer to this, which I hope is this. Will this run? Yeah. So if I'm gonna change the value a to something like string wolala, okay. Let's just set this. Bam. If I'll run this again, value b should become wolala as well. Okay, so we can use this. Perfect. So that means that we can basically set a query update after the post where comments count is this comments count plus 1. Although, let's just double make sure. Let's say that value b is 12. Okay, let's run it. Can I self-reference the value? Let's say that value b is value this dot value b, because as far as I know, this will be different than the input. It's value b plus 1. Will that become 13? Yes, and we can just keep sending a query to keep increasing. Awesome. Yeah, this is like writing frontend. Fun. To some extent. Okay. So basically, if the comment was approved, as in it changed from not approved to approved, we increase the comment count of the post that this comment is for. Else, do I just do that? Else, we're gonna update the post where we decrease the thing, because if it got disapprove the comment, we need to decrease the comment count. And that should be it. We just need this, and automatically the comment count will get updated whenever we create a new comment. Oh, right. So we're gonna go here and send that to our database. Will that go through? It went through. Okay. So let's just take a peek at what data we have. We have 3 comments already. What about posts? We have 4 posts. They also have their likes count, and comments count is 0. Because even though we have comments, those numbers were created before it happened. So let's go through all the comments and update them, okay? Update their counts. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna actually write this here. Then we have something like utilities or data. We have test data for creating comments. So let's just make quick update post. We'll update all the posts where we'll recalculate the likes. So likes count is, and this will be a subquery here. So we'll select the 2 specific values. So let's do select count. Okay, we'll count from liked, where the like points at, you know, the ID of this particular instance. Okay, because with liked, we get its ID, and if it's the same as oh, we need to do the parent, because the parent here will be the post. What the heck? I guess parent ID? Oh my gosh, this is breaking my head now. So the thing is that the parent parameter, when run inside a query, refers to the outside query. So in this case, does it refer to what? To this post? Huh. We'll see if that works. Because this should go get likes, where they point at this post and count them. And we want to basically return just a value rather than something else. And hopefully that's gonna work. Additionally, we want the comments count. So for comments count, we need to do something similar. We need to basically count all the comments, where the comments have the post ID on the comment is pointing to this post, and approved is true. That should be enough to actually update everything. So let's see if that works. If not, we'll debug it. Because right now we can see the comments count is 0000, while likes count is 1100. So let's see if that changes. Run. Problem. Oh. Unexpected token star expected. I guess we don't need those, right? We just run count. Run. On 1 for field comments for record, but expect an integer. Okay. So an array with 1. So I guess I found one for field comments count. Okay. With record post 1. Whatever that means. But expect an integer. Okay. So from that subquery, let's just take the first value, because I guess that's what's happening here. And notice that this complaint about comments count, because when we do something like update, those entries here, they will be running in the alphabetical order, and that's very important. Let's run it again. Oh no, now we get none. Let's see what this does, okay? Let's say count comments where post ID is the same as, let's just take a peek at our comments, because we have comments, 2 comments on post 1, but only one of them is approved, so it should return 1. Post 1. And approved is true. Run this. So we got an array with number 1 in it. Oh, we need to probably group all, right? Let's just read out documentation on count, because that's the one part I'm sometimes confused with. Okay, what do we have here? SurrealQL, the functions, count function. Counts a row or whether given value is truthy. So if we'll just do count any, its number, whatnot. So return count. Oh, and its own is just 1. Interesting. We have true, false, or a bunch of stuff. Okay, so we're doing it to group all. That's what we probably need. Group them all, and this way we can count them. So group all. I run this. Whew, I get count 1. What the heck? I remove the value. What are we going to get back? The same thing. So basically we're getting an object returned. What the heck? And I don't think this is gonna work. Well, let's see. Yeah. Single result output when using only, yeah, but this is, we have more than one comment. I guess we'll need to do, what are we going to do if we're gonna do 0? Return this thing. We're gonna extract first element. Dot count. Where I did value as la. Can I do that? What the hell's gonna happen? We get la, and the value is being ignored. Where'd shenanigans going? Sure, la. And this way we're gonna get the actual number, right? Okay, so select count as count. Just have it explicitly set from command where post ID is this. Take first element count. Ugly, but might work. But what if I'm gonna run it for post 3 that doesn't have any likes? Then we got none. Why is that? Because we got no elements. There's no element 0. And yeah, there are no elements. What the heck? What if we're gonna sneakily prove this comment? Prove true. Save changes. It didn't update. Do we have guards for that? We might have added guards. If we have the post. Gonna try to set the. Where's that proved? Wait, not post. Comment. On update, we just run this. Otherwise, create it. Approved. We don't have any guards on that, so what just happened? This thing. True. Okay. Save changes. Doesn't allow us. Update. Comment. What is the idea of it? This particular comment. Set approved true. It shows us a set it. When we refresh it, it's set. Okay, so something's wonky with the interface here. Interesting. All right. So we have it set to that. So if I have 2 posts, what will that look like? Just the number 2. Okay. So I am a little bit more sure that we're actually gonna get a specific value. We just need to say or 0. This way, if we get null, we're gonna set it to 0 rather than none. Okay. And the same thing is gonna go here. Let's make it as count for this and that, and we extract count or 0. Now when we run this, there we go. Comments count 1 for this one, and likes count 1. Comment counts 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. Why comments count 1 only? While the other thing has 2 comments. Post 1 should have 2 comments. Something doesn't add up. Refresh. Wait, post. Refresh. Comments got created. Oh, because I'm not counting the correct thing, right? No, this is a comment. That says, have you looked at works of other people during Game Jam? Not during Game Jam. I just focused on the game that we were making. But after Game Jam, of course, I looked around, voted a few things. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe Friday we could play some games that are out there. I will probably limit myself to only the online ones because Xfinity has data caps and I can't download multiple gigabytes nonstop. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe we'll find some interesting things. It'll be nice to rate things that weren't rated yet. I'm actually curious if we're gonna go to new tab, GMTK Game Jam 2024. And we'll go to voting has started. I guess I would need to log in. Let me just log in quickly. Did I log in with GitHub? I think I did. Go back, refresh. Yeah, there we go. We've got stuff here. So we can see that 7,690 games were submitted. The number was a little bit higher, but they're slowly going down. I guess people are removing them. And 88,000 votes were already given. In 4 days, 7,500 games created. Just have I seen Xfinity Unlimited extension? As far as I know, if I would pay every month to have their router, I will get infinite, you know, the unlimited stuff. But I at some point decided to use my own router. Yeah, the X5 Complete. Yeah, I had that before, and then I started charging like $20 a month. So I got my own router, a modem, and this way, you know, I have one less device of theirs, because their device just sucks absolutely. So yeah, if we go to, you can rate stuff, right? And do we still have submissions in need of ratings? Okay, look at that. There are no games with 0 scores. That's awesome. Because last time I was checking, there were mostly games with no ratings at all. So somehow every game got rated. Holy moly. And is Epicale here? I don't think so, because Epicale got like is there like my submissions or something? Overview. Where is it? Game jams, posts, projects, my library. Nope. Oh, that's a scam. That's somebody sells demo of that old game rather than the whole thing. Where do you see your own jams? Dashboard and stuff. There we go, Epicale. And view submission page for this entry. 5 people so far rated. There we go. One comment. I really enjoyed the game. It was fun seeing your plan grow. Cool. That's that. But back on track with Surreal. And Taras says, I have connected my own gear to the router, as in your own modem. It's still a modem doing my work, but I get my Ubiquiti gear to the rest. Well, since the beginning, always plug in your own router to their router, so their router acts only as a modem. It's just I was tired of paying extra $20-something a month, which is a lot. So yeah, I just want cheaper option. It's cheaper, you know, that my own modem in a few months will be basically, you know, will be even, and then you just go on and pay less. I just needed to decrease the quality of the live streams a little bit, which probably isn't a problem. I'm not playing games. This is static content, so no big deal. Should be fine. All right. Now, what we were doing here, we just updated the stuff here. We just don't know why it calculated 1s instead of 2s. Run again. So likes and counts for post 4 and post 3 is fine. For post 2, we have 1 like and 1 comment. While for post 1, we should have 2 comments. What is going on? Explorer. Comment. 2 comments for the post 1. They're both marked as approved. They both have different IDs. Even though the content is the same, they have both different IDs. So what is the problem? comment count is select count as count from comment where post ID is the same as the parent ID. And approve this set to true. And when I run it, when I run this for post 1, run. Oh, I get 1 now. What? We're getting 2 a few minutes ago. Oh. I see. Group all is missing. There we go. Group all. Group all. That means if I'm gonna get post 4, it's gonna return 0. Otherwise, if I didn't have OR, it's gonna return none. This would be an empty array. Right. Oops. Yep, okay. Now we should have it fixed. Run selection. 2 comments, 1 like. 1 like, 1 comment, and zeros here. Okay, we've got working code. Cool. So again, this will be, in my opinion, pretty complex with SQL. Here I was able to just fiddle it out. Although I agree, this part is confusing, extracting stuff, but it's no different than when you're dealing with JavaScript and a bunch of data. So pretty much the same syntax. So in my opinion, I don't mind. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to update this part and add a little comment. Just this. Recalculate likes and comments counts for each post. This way we have, this is something you could run probably, every few hours or something. And yeah. Taras says, I'm totally with you. With the modem, yeah. I mean, at some point I want to get the Dream Machine Pro and start setting up proper network because the router I have is just glitchy. And I have a suspicion that it actually messes up my computer because to my PC I have a network card that has 2 10 gig connections that run to like a 10 gig switch. And the thing is that one of those connections is solely for virtual machines running on Windows, and the other one is just for my machine. And I have 10 gig to the NAS and a bunch of other stuff, so I have things running fast. But the thing is that when I restore my computer, after let's say I tried to connect to Google Meet or whatever, internet disconnects just from my PC. After 2 minutes, it's back, and after that I can just keep using everything. It's fine. But after a restart, weird, very strange. So I'm expecting maybe it's the router doing something, but I don't know. I don't have enough skill to figure that out, especially on Windows. So yeah. And it would be nice to have, virtual networks and stuff that I can't do. All right, so we've got that part updated, and now the idea was that the comments already should be updating themselves. So let's try that. In our test data, we can find a way to create a comment on a post. So we're gonna target post 3, okay? We're gonna target post 3. We're gonna do, something like stop this nonsense I don't know how to spell nonsense. Stop this. Uh, Trashy content. Okay. So be another comment. Oh, and this needs to be created by the user. That's the thing. I nearly posted it here. This will be created a comment for the post 3. So let's start doing that, okay? So I guess I need to open up a new project. Where's that thing here? We can just go here. Okay. Didn't change anything, so we should be able to just run it. Opens in the wrong window. But we can get it here. Oh, it's already here. Look at that. Refresh. So I recall that we were able to just paste stuff here. Surrealist here. Let's copy this and store it here. So we're going to run this as a user. Am I logged in? I am not, so I better first log in. Which one is he using? This one, I guess. Sure. Yeah. Create. Bam. And console, we should have results. I should print it out here as well at some point. We'll get an array. Created. Author, content, created at ID and post. Okay. So all that got created. So in here we can take a peek and see that there's a new comment and it's not approved. Stop this trashy content. So now we will need to approve it. And to approve it, we need to, because if I would change this value to true right now, it should recalculate the value. So let's just take a peek. Post. Whoa, post 3 got -3. Oh no. I think I know what just happened. Look at that. When we have our comment, the event, when the comment got updated, for some reason, creating, oh, I know, because we just created comment, right? And then on create, we have event that updated the approved to be false. And because this is like, separate query, this triggered this to happen. Like, wait, the approved state changed from, in this case, none to approved. So we want to basically say and yeah. So we basically need to guard it so that this event doesn't trigger if we changed from non-existent value to something. Okay. So if there was a first assignment, we don't update anything. So basically, if event is update and before approved is not or is not none. Okay. So we just need to add that extra clause and this should be fine, hopefully. So let's update it. Bam, run, update it. We can also quickly recalculate data. Just like that. Bam. Everything's back to normal. 0. Post 3 has 0. So what I'm going to do is remove that comment here. This comment, delete. I want to see if, I want to make sure that I'm not doing anything weird here. So post, nothing here. Yeah. We'll need to handle deletion too, probably separately. Mm-hmm. But for now, let's just check if the other works. So we're gonna create that post again. So refresh, run. We just created that. Whoa, new post. So we're good. Okay. If we're gonna look at the database and posts, we still have post 3 has 0. While comments, we got that new comment. It's just not approved. So we basically need to approve it. And in test data, I have relayed user this to those posts. Oh, this is authored. Oh, I don't have a thing for approval. So let's do relate. And we'll say that this user, because this should be the admin, authorized, approved. And this will be the new comment. And the new comment is ID like this. Okay, that's all we need just to run this to approve the comment. So let's run it. Just this part, run. Okay, we create approval. That means if we go to our comments, this is approved. We go to posts. Post 3 has 1 comment count now. Cool, that got updated. And if I'm gonna remove that approval, which is here, I should have the ID of it, right? I'm gonna remove it, which will be delete this thing, okay? Bam. I deleted the approval. Is everything still up to date? The post count of comments went down to 0. And the comment is already showing as not approved. Beautiful. Okay. So let's reapprove it. And we should be good. Right? Post count is good. Awesome. So we know that it works both ways now. What we can do now is handle the situation when we delete the post. Okay. I mean, we delete the comment. Sorry. If we delete the comment, we should update the value as well of the post. So we're gonna define another event. Define event on comment delete. Okay. When the event is delete, then basically if the before approved is different than whatever. Basically, if the approved was already set to true. So if the comment was approved, that's the only situation where it actually contributed to the count of comments on a post. Then we basically say that the post, hey, set content count to, make it 1 less. Okay, and that's all. That's it. That should run when we run the query. When we delete a comment. So we're gonna try that in a second. I'm just making sure that I have all the proper semicolons everywhere to not mess things up. And that should be literally it. That's all that we need. So let's put that in here. I'm just gonna run it here. Bam. Okay, that got added to the database. So we've got the comment, right? What's gonna happen if I'm gonna remove it? I believe it should remove automatically the relation that was approved. So let's just check if we have some kind of relation here. Approved. Oh, geez. Let's go to comment. And where's the comment for the 3? Here. So the comment ID is here. So we can basically check the approved. Where ID is this. Wait, where the out is this. So whatever points at it, this thing. This is the thing that this is the approval that should be deleted if we do things. So we'll just do select. Can I just do return this dot star? That should be the same as select, right? Run. Yep, that's the same as select. Just less typing. So we know that we have this thing. Additionally, we know that this is the comment that we'll be deleting. Okay, there we go. So, and we're gonna return post 3 dot comment count. Is this comment count or comments count? Comments count. Okay, we have 1 right now. So if I'm going to delete the comment itself, what is going to happen? Run. If I'm going to try to get the comment, doesn't exist. The approved state doesn't exist. Okay, so the approval got removed. And comment count, 0. Everything automatically updated. Beautiful. Okay, so the approval got removed and the comment itself got removed. And probably all the likes of the comment got removed as well, which I am fine with. Alrighty. Yeah, works. So now the only thing is that I need to actually figure out what I changed. I changed the comment, liked, and test data. Let me just make sure that I'm starting to commit stuff here. Because we made changes to 3 files. Here, this is minor. Minor readability fix. This can exist in a stream file, okay? I don't mind that. So now we're gonna do the comment and test data. This is the only thing that we edited. We didn't even touch anything but the comment itself. That's awesome. Yeah. So let's do this. We're gonna grab the comment and test data. I'm gonna copy it. I'm gonna create a new directory, stream 6. And we're gonna basically paste those 2 here because these are the new ones, okay? Updated data. This way I'll discard changes here. There we go. Beautiful. All right, so these are the changes. So basically make comment count update itself automatically. Just those 2 new files. This way, those 2, I can discard the changes. There we go. And I can close those that I just discarded, or all of them. There we go. These are the ones we're operating on. Okay. Let's push those. So what else do we have here? What am I looking for here? So approved, I think we already have handled, right? It permissions. Do we have permissions set on approved? I want to make it like green that we covered it completely. So we can start checking off boxes. So we go here and let's take a peek at approved. Approved, there are no permissions set here. Look at that. So that's not touched yet. We'll need to get back to it. For liked, I know that we completed everything. Okay. This one's done. Authored, viewed, and learned. We haven't touched that yet. And likes count. That's already pre-calculated and very happy. Okay. So yeah, this part is done, I think. Because when we create it, when we delete it, it automatically creates the whole, things like likes count and comment count and whatnot. So let's maybe quickly create this post interactions table, because now everything is actually stored inside the posts themselves, like the likes count and other things, and we can make this table here just to make public queryable data. Like, because let's say somebody opens the main page, they want to see, okay, this post has that many likes, this post has that many comments or whatever. I'm gonna click on it because looks like people have a conversation here, right? We want this set of data to be queryable. Just the post ID, likes count, comments count, and maybe when was the last comment happening. We'll skip that over for now. We'll just focus on those three. So here I call the post interactions. Yeah, why not? Let's do that. So let's take a peek again at this whole concept of defining this readable table. So we have statements, define table. We have the whole concept of pre-computed table views. So we can basically define a table and give it a select query, and it will just run with it. And that's it. No complicated stuff to define the views. So what we can do is create a new file, and we're gonna call it post interactions. Okay. Define table, post interactions. It will be, all right, that says I'll go and play some Company of Heroes. All right, have fun. See you around. I heard that name, Company of Heroes. Never played it though. Okay, so we won't be doing all those weird things here. All we know that we want to select from post. And what do we want to select from post? We don't worry about ID as far as I know. Or let's do post. We'll do ID as post ID. Okay. We want to know to which whatever. Then we want likes count and comments count. Likes count and comments count. And no, don't recalculate them here. I think that's it. I think that's the whole query. Yeah. Let's just make sure that I have it set to spaces. Wait. Here. Spaces 4. There we go. All right. So if we run this will define a new table that will keep itself updated whenever we change any kind of post or value inside a post. So whenever likes count increases, it should also increase in this table and be available as an actual materialized data to query. So, oops, what the hell just happened? Undo. Select everything, copy, and let's switch to here. I'm just gonna do it here, and let's paste it and run it. Okay, we're gonna go to Explore. We have post interactions. refresh. Oh, we have filters. Remove filters. Look at that. We have post interactions, post 1, post 2, post 3, post 4. So it took the IDs. Just in case we have an ID directly to the post, so we don't need to do any renaming or whatever. We can just query this part. And we can see comments count, likes count. Just like that. So now if I'm going to create a new comment, let's say on post 4, so I can do that from the front end. Go to the front end, refresh it, and say that on post 4 will be, please no more AI writes better articles than you! Exclamation mark. So if we're gonna run this on post 4, create it. Okay, we just created a comment. We're gonna go to our Explorer. We shouldn't see anything yet. Right? No comments count, nothing. But if we're gonna approve it, it's just what is the ID of that new comment, please? Oh, sure. Copy. And we're gonna say that this comment was approved. Bam. Okay, got approved. We're gonna go to our post interactions, refresh data. We can see that post 4 already has it here. Right? Automatically updated. This is not a table you can write to, it's a read-only table that keeps itself up to date. And it's not that we modified the post 4, right? Because the post 4, it got the comments count set by an event. What happens is that the post interactions, it didn't run the whole query to get everything again. It just noticed that, okay, only post 4 changed, so all I need to do is update this specific record, nothing else. So yeah, that's that. I can just see relations. Like if I go to, let's say, comment, this comment relations, I can see that it was approved. Look at that. If I go to post 1 relations, incoming, authored by this person and liked by this person. Look at that. This is fun. What if I'm gonna go to the user? Like this one. It authored something and liked a bunch of other stuff. While this user approved a bunch of comments. But not authored? What the heck's going on? That's weird. Oh, because posts are probably authored by somebody that doesn't exist. No, authored by user this thing. They just don't show up. Okay, very strange. There's some glitches here. But other than that, we have this data. So I believe we can set some kind of permissions on it to allow front-end users to actually query it. Because right now, if I would do something like select everything from post interactions, let's just refresh and run this query. It will show nothing, okay? So what we have to do is actually give it permissions. So the way we do it is just like in the other spots. If we're gonna go here to something like a comment, we see how we set permissions. So for the table, so we're gonna copy it and just add it here. Okay, permissions for select full, and the rest will be not specified. which means that for everything else, the users cannot do anything. They cannot update, they cannot delete. They can just select. Okay. And of course, they don't create because it doesn't work that way. So now we're gonna rerun this query when we set it up. This, I believe, will actually recreate the whole table, but no big deal. We just need to do overwrite. There we go. So it should still exist here, right? Post interactions, refresh. All the numbers are correct because they're just read from the post. So now when I'm gonna run this again from the front end, now I'm actually getting the data. I can just, hey, give me all the data about the posts, and that's it. I don't mind that anyone can do that, but yeah. Mithridates says, I see everything's going swimmingly today. Thought I'd say hi for lack of anything else. That fallacy thing was interesting though. Yeah, it's very interesting. You can just do anything, I believe. Create whatever, right? Table whatever, and we're gonna set ABC equals wall 2000. And I think we'll be able to just do it. Yep. Wall 2000. Can I do plus wall 8000? 9900? Nope. And it doesn't even say that these are like unique types, which is very interesting. I really don't know how to interpret that. Does this show the value? No, because it doesn't know designer. The whatever doesn't have any type, no schema, so it will accept everything, anything. And I can probably say that instead of ABC is this, I'm gonna do DEF is this dot ABC, and it's gonna just copy it. Oh. Now it shows it doesn't exist. It just removed the value. Oh, because we created, sorry. Create whatever ABC, right? And we're gonna say that ABC is ha 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 ha, right? And then we're gonna say update. And we're gonna say that XYZ is this dot ABC, which should just copy this weird non-existent value. Yeah, there we go. Method that says unrelated but sort of similar. Littles got added yesterday. They are my new favorite functionality, sort of like enums. Ooh. By added, you mean the pull request went through, it's just not released yet, right? I haven't had much time yet to surf through things, so I need to take a peek because this is exciting. No more game jamming. GitHub.com. Let's search for SurrealDB. Do we have any news about it? No, just a bunch of svelte. Yeah, no version has yet, but if you build it yourself, you can try it out. Oh, I don't think I'm gonna try to build the database yet. That means I need to install Rust and everything. And I don't think this has set up a Docker for building the whole thing. There's dev Docker. There's development Docker. Oh, just for running dashboards and Grafana and Prometheus. Oh, okay. Nope. 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 Looking for literals. It was approved today. No. Literal types. Introduce literal types for strings, numbers, objects, arrays, and duration. Like A or B. A. Oh, as in you can set a value, right? Like this, or for numbers, or for type. Oh, wait, an array. Oh, this is powerful. An array that first element needs to be a number, while the second element needs to be ABC. That's great. And objects also. Nice. And this is, what is 1D in here? 2D. I guess other types, define field, object, and test. Type this and that. What is 1D and 2D? Maybe something with graphics? With geometry? I don't know. Oh, 1D. Oh, that's true. Oh. Still in game development world. My head is. Method says, you'd be surprised how easy it is to build. Just git clone, then type cargo run instead of Surreal. Yep. I did some Rust a long time ago, and usually it was just cargo run. But yeah, I'll wait for the alpha. No worries. I'll be able to go through all the updates that happened. Okay, this is fun, and we can define this here. Cool. All right, this makes me happy. Nice. Still, the biggest thing I believe for the whole database would be the error handling. Just so that you can basically, like handle that something went wrong and just handle it in some way instead of just everything crashing instantly. Either for debugging or something else. Where can I just see my own error handling with try catch? This is just, and I think try catch would work so well in the database, just so we can do something like, simple try to perform optional action. In most basic usage of the feature would be to simply try to execute a query and ignore when it fails, right? Because maybe you're running as that user or something, you don't want to do if else, or there might be some data that, let's say, awesome. So let's say we have a situation where, you have lots of complex checks on many steps. Like you are supposed to update something, value in one table. That table causes event that will update another table that will maybe update some other tables because, it propagates, you have a bunch of stuff happening. Some important data, million checks everywhere. So suddenly, if you want to update something in one place, you will need to probably do a bunch of other checks to make sure that it's fine, just to return some other, reasonable error or something. Or maybe actually not have an error. So basically say like, if it's possible, update this. If it's not, don't try. Right? If you would be able to do try catch, just try it. And if it didn't happen, oh well. Or maybe show an error with catch that, hey, something happened. In this case, there was an error. Send an HTTP request with an error to, I don't know, your dashboard. Which would be absolutely awesome to be able to do that. Just to be able to rethrow an error. Maybe with some additional data would be great. And capturing them, with a bunch of stuff. So yeah, if error code was this, then do this. Otherwise that. You could just do so much, like a little more smarter functions. Yeah, like a retry for a post. If the post fails, sleep for that many seconds, and try again, and try again, and try again until it works, or it doesn't work, then just throw it. Error. Or whole migrations that check for things and whatnot. It's just, yeah, this is gonna be a game changer in my opinion. And I'm happy to hear that there's something planned for it. Okay, so awesome. So we just created the post interactions, so that's fun. And we can query it from the front end, right? It did work, right? Yeah, we got everything. So that means that when we, let's say, go to the homepage, and you have all those here, right now, the 0 comments, 5 likes, 1 comment, 1 likes. The way this is being displayed here right now is that every few hours, in the backend, I have a system that basically rebuilds the whole website, and when Astro, pre-renders this whole thing, it reaches out to dev.to to their API to get a list of those numbers from their API and just bake it into HTML. So this is nothing smart. This is just straight up built into a website, just updates every few hours. The same thing is down here. It's just baked in. So that way, in the future, I could have it baked in initially, like the older value, but when the page loads and JavaScript updates, the front end could reach out to the database. You know what? Give me the up-to-date numbers, and just that. So that's the whole idea behind it. And therefore, when it could happen that, you refresh the page or whatever, and you already have it up to date or something. So yeah, that's basically the idea behind having that functionality to be able to query the likes count and comments count. In the future, we could probably have additional thing being saved in the post, like when was last comment or something. And we could probably add it here as well. And this way, maybe there will be a feature where somebody, you could have, I don't know, just a list of recent stuff. Or you could probably already do something of this thing, right? Because we can query all the comments. So we could probably write a query in our own front end here, which is funny to think of, actually. Select everything from comment where, from comment. So basically get me all the comments, which is kind of not nice that you can query all the comments on the website, but I don't think we can add restrictions to that yet. Yeah, I don't think we can add restrictions like, limit the user to have only, 5 entries per query or something. That could happen if we had, for example, functions that are limited by permissions, because then you could make it so that the users can't query the comments, but they can run a function that already has embedded logic to limit how much they can query. But doesn't exist yet. Maybe I should write a feature request as well and just describe it in some interesting words, because you could do a lot of that. There's just so much potential. So an order by what would that be? On the comment. Created that. Yeah, created that. Descending. I think that's how we write this query. There we go. We got all the comments and their dates when they were created. So was please no more. Yep. So just like that, we could already add on the homepage somewhere, maybe on at some point, like, latest comments during the conversation or something, like, some websites have. We could easily, turn it into this whole social thing. Just like that. or just have this thing like, last comment or last interaction at this time, if we would bake it into the post interactions. It would be like a no query. So yeah, I think I'll be finishing for today. Like I mentioned, this is a very short stream. Maybe we can just tackle the approved, because this is interesting case scenario. We already have the, what can happen here, but it would be nice to make it so that a user, because the author of an author would most likely be just logging in with their account to the page, and that's how they can approve things and whatever. It all happens through the portal. It's not like the author of the article will be digging in a database and running queries or something. No, it shouldn't be 4 hours. This should be really quick. So we have the thing that we basically are already asserting that only the author can create. So we have assertions in place already. That means we don't have to add them in permissions, because those assertions will be running every time we already did something. So we only need to do it so that, what was it? Permissions for select, create, and delete, where it's a user, and basically who, which is who approved the thing, is the user that approved it. So this already takes care of pretty much everything. Basically, a user can see only their own approvals, what they approved, and nothing else. And if they have rights to approve it or not, that's up to this value here. Okay. Let's just make sure, because they will need to assign in as themselves, so that's right. Therefore, if they set that field, they are accepting. Oh no, look, this is not great here. Because right now we're checking the value if the user exists, because only the user that they can create, approve stuff that originates from only them, this will be fine. We can access the value of the user, because it's their own record. But then we basically are making sure that this value is inside the comments post. Okay. And as far as I know, we can see the comments. User can see the comments, but they cannot see the posts, nor have access to the authored yet. Although we need to add them to be able to read the users, like who authored what. Or maybe you don't need to. Who knows? And that means, okay, this might be more difficult. Because that means that we need to move some of those checks away from here to an event, because an event has access to everything. So we can basically make sure that, hey, this just makes sure that when we create this event, we create this approval, that the author exists. Okay, we can check the comment, no problem. All the rest is just automatic. So we already have on approval creation, we set silent approve, but we can also do this thing here. So we basically need to check Value ID in. So that was value, which is the thing that we want to set inside the in. So here we can basically make after. So after we created, after the in, which is already an ID, needs to exist and we select from this. And this is supposed to be this whole thing. So we do this. What? After. Okay, we get the after. And from there we select okay, yeah. Approved. What we approved, the comment, we get to the post, approved by, and we have user ID and whatnot. So it's the same user. Okay. Yeah, it should work like that. So if not in here, throw only the author of the post can approve a comment on it. Okay, something like that. Hopefully that works. We're gonna we would need to basically make the user be an author of some kind of post to test it, but I'm gonna leave it the way it is. I'm just gonna add a big to do test and test this properly with a front end user. Okay. Because I need to go to sleep. But okay. Other than that, we shouldn't have any other updates. Okay. Deletion, we don't need to worry about deletion because all the deletion can happen only for the user's own stuff. So we should be fine. And updates are not allowed. Okay. All right. This makes me happy that we can do something like that. A little bit convoluted, but yeah, I'm hoping that over time, it will be easier to write stuff that keeps the database clean. Because right now we need to jump between a lot of definitions here and there. It's kind of messy and it's hard to keep track and impossible to debug. So if over time we can improve, the database gets a little bit easier to manage, that would be great. And I think, again, having those, user-defined functions with permissions would be an amazing tool for that because you can often abstract things away a little bit. So from the front end, it just executes a function rather than writes a whole query. So it kind of safer, harder to exploit the database this way, and probably easier to add logging and all those little stuff around it. So yeah, I could see it as something very beneficial. Yeah, I'll need to write a feature request on that. All right. So let's just push that and finish for today. Okay, so post interactions. So let's do create view table for accessible by front end users and approved. We actually need to copy it to the stream 6. So that's that. Discard changes here. Okay, So this will be add permit author, whatever, add permissions to the approved state. A relation edge table, right? Edge table. But now when I'm thinking, if we can add those, we have right now on the comment itself, when we look at the approved, we don't allow for selection, updating, creation. Okay? That's just the value if it was approved or not. So the thing is, how do we basically the user, the author of the post wouldn't be able to see, it would be able to see only the comments that were approved because they don't have any special cases here. Therefore, they wouldn't be able to see like, oh, there's something I need to approve because it doesn't exist. You need to know from where to create the relation to approve something. So that means that we would probably need to make the for select where approved is true, or this is the author of the comment, which would be author of the post, which would be very, very expensive query. Yeah. Because that means that that means the query would run every time. Oh, wow. So basically, if somebody runs the, select everything from, select everything from comment, not only this check would run for every entry, but also the other check, because we need to do this or. So if this would fail, only then we check if this is the author of something. And that means this gets very, 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 very expensive. We would need to do some smart stuff around to have pre-computed data to see if we should even allow it or not. Maybe we should just say like, you know what? Let's not do that. Let's just have in the future a separate interface that's going through some kind of system user or whatever, not directly from the front end. That does it. I'll need to think. I will need to think it through how to actually do it. For now, the user can create a relation. It just can't view what comments, the comments that aren't approved yet. So yeah. In theory, if the backend would be able to send it the IDs of the comments, then possibly it could create the relation. But that's that. So I'll need to think it through. But for now, I believe all the code is pushed. So we're ready to finish the stream. It was really, really short today. But nonetheless, thank you for watching. And see you on Friday then. On Friday, most likely I will just play through some of the games from the game jam, just to relax a little bit. And then on Monday will be actually normal streaming week will start, where on Monday we'll be doing some game development. This time we'll continue with Godot. I will be starting a new project of a game that I want to just keep developing, so a long-term project. An actual idea that came from the game jam, but as a team we didn't decide to work on it. It's stuck in my head and I keep building the idea and I actually want to implement it. So it might be fun. We'll see how that goes. And yeah, So next week should be a little bit easier. For me, easier. Should be more regular. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So again, thank you for watching. If you like the content, consider liking and subscribing on YouTube or following on Twitch. You can also join the Discord. There's not a lot going on there yet, but you know, it needs to start somehow. So thank you again, and see you around.